This is how to believe in yourself so much that someone who has no idea what you do and no idea about your industry physically decides to invest £1,000 into you and your idea. Now, the reason I'm speaking about this is because a lot of people have incredible ideas, but because it's their idea, they now can't talk about it. Because what if it fails? What if it doesn't work out in the way they wanted it to? What if someone doesn't like the idea? God forbid. These very thoughts and patterns are the things that are going to keep you stuck when it comes to being a creator or even in the creative industry. Because you already know this. No one will believe in you if you do not believe in yourself. Your mum might be telling you, oh yeah, that's a really good idea, go for it, go for it. That doesn't mean anything, because a lot of the time that's unconditional support and unconditional love. So what happens when you're trying to convince a complete stranger, or better yet, an idol of yours, that you are worth investing in and your idea is worth investing in? You've never even tried, have you? So here's how to magnetically believe in yourself, so that the people that matter to you believe in you like that. I'm going to show you this using my Simon Squibb and Richard Branson pitch as a case study example. So first things first is time frame. You've got to act fast, because the longer you leave it to decide whether you're worth investing in or not, the longer you're going to have to convince yourself that you're not. So timeline, 2 days. I'd been seeing Simon Squibb on TikTok, realised what he did, followed his account, and 2 days later, I was pitching. As soon as I went onto his account, the first thing I saw was the Ring Doorbell campaign with Richard Branson, which was obviously in the Virgin Hotel in Shoreditch. For context, this was a collaboration between Simon Squibb's brand, which is Help Bank, Virgin Startup, and Ring Doorbell. Right, so how I turned a one-off 60-second pitch into a sold-out event. Urgency. I'd been seeing Simon Squibb all over TikTok. I followed him on Instagram, saw the campaign launch post, went down to the post, saw what it was all about. I was like, okay, I'm invested, I'm going to do it. Simon had specifically said that he wasn't sure how long the Ring Doorbell was going to be up for. So to me, I was like, okay, I could have 2 hours to do this, I could have 8 weeks to do this. But what I did know is if I didn't get to do it, I would massively be kicking myself about it. So I committed. This was a Friday. I said to myself, tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going. Gone. Done. I planned my whole pitch within that next hour. And mentally, maybe not physically yet, but mentally, I had committed to this. Now, plot twist, what actually happened, because most people will tell you they've mentally committed and that's it, they're doing it. That wasn't the case for me. There was a lot of umming and ahhing between when I decided I was going to do it and actually going to do it. The reason for that, I was supposed to be meeting my friend in London on that same day. So the pitch became just another thing to do in London. It wasn't my sole reason for going to London and taking that whole train journey in and out of London. What that did was put less pressure on the pitch itself, because it was something that I was just merging into the day that was convenient. Saturday morning arrives, my friend cancels. It's raining, it's dark, it's cold, it's London. At this point, my mind is telling me there is no point going because you're not going to get picked anyway. So that self-belief was starting to slowly fade. And it actually wasn't because I believed in myself any less. It was because my whole day now was around this one pitch. And I said to myself, there is no way I'm traveling all the way into London for an hour to go and pitch for 60 seconds in the rain and come back home for another hour. So then I was actually sliding more towards no than yes, because I lost the urgency. Naturally, because the pressure was now heightened, I started to avoid it more. So I sat down with myself and I was like, cool, are you going or are you not going? And I played it out in my head and I thought, well, either way, Simon Squibb and Richard Branson, Virgin Media, who is at my home right now, my broadband, they're going to know who I am, whether I actually win the pitch or not. And then the fear of judgment came in, because this launch post had got about 200,000 likes. So I knew for a fact I was not the only person that was ready to pitch on a Saturday, meaning I would potentially have to pitch with a whole row of people behind me. Was I ready for that? No. And that's where a lot of people get confidence wrong. They assume that confidence means you are the loudest person in the room. But no, real confidence is being able to fully back yourself, talk about something that you wholeheartedly believe in when you've got a whole room of people behind you who have no idea what you're talking about. So it's Saturday, I've gone, I'm on the train, and I'm nervous as fuck. Going over my pitch, going over the script again and again and again and again. It was literally killing me. Now, the second thing you need to fully believe in yourself is to feel safe and comfortable not being able to control everything. So I'd arrived at the hotel. Now I knew that I was going into a room with either 30 people, 50 people, 100 people, or no people. But what I knew at that point is that regardless of how many people were in that room, I was going to act the same. And because I'd now acted on the urgency and I knew my timeline, it allowed me to relax. And because I was relaxed, I knew as soon as Simon and Richard saw the video, they would see that I wasn't trying to be performative, I wasn't trying to big myself up. It was genuinely just me talking to a wall about what I love and believe in most. And that takes me to number 3, being confident enough to try again. I actually pitched twice because my first pitch was shit. I was stuttering, I was reading from my phone, I was standing in like a really awkward position. And so I said, okay, let's restart. Let's just redo it. It's fine. 2 weeks later, when I found out that my pitch had won and I saw the video that they had selected, it was the first pitch. And that's when I realized having the confidence to try again does not mean that you failed the first time. It only means you failed if you believe that you have failed or you've told yourself that you failed. Because even though I saw my first pitch as a failure, Simon and Richard didn't. The first pitch was me. The first pitch was the blood, sweat, and tears that I had put into my business, put into my dream, put into my vision. The second pitch was performative. You know when it's raining outside and you've come in finally and you're able to like take your jacket off and you're sweating and like all you want to do is just like walk around a little bit and just air yourself out. My first pitch was me running around in the rain, like sweating and all those sorts of things. And my second pitch was when I'd finally removed the raincoat and been able to breathe, essentially. Now, from Richard and Simon's point of view, being able to see somebody in so much struggle, so flustered, still being able to project and talk about what they love and what they believe in and what their mission is much more powerful than someone physically just standing there, being able to press a button and talk. Because a lot of people can do that. Now, bear in mind, the believing in myself part didn't stop there. It only got more and more and more difficult. Because now that I'd been picked, I had to plan and host an event in central London for a concept that not a lot of people really understood, skin confidence. Who really understands that? Nobody. So to make the event successful in my eyes, the amount of self-belief I had to have in myself was 10x. 10x compared to when I had to pitch. And that is exactly why my event sold out. So takeaways from this video: if you want true self-belief to the point where other people who have no idea what you're doing invest in you, you need urgency, you need to be open to judgment, and you need to be willing to try again and again and again. And that is the recipe for investable self-belief. Hopefully this helped you start your self-belief journey, but any questions you have, leave a comment, message me on Instagram, do whatever you need to do. This is one of my biggest achievements in my career so far, for sure. So if you're on the same wave, subscribe, like, share with a friend, and I'll see you in the next video.